Good morning, everyone. By way of introduction, my name is Thomas Pace, Chair of the Coalition for Adequate School Housing. Today is National Manatee Day. I always start our meetings by quoting whatever national day it is. I'm not quite sure if there's a segue for National Manatee Day other than just to say it's National Manatee Day. It is also Aretha Franklin's birthday. Love Aretha Franklin, so happy birthday, Aretha Franklin. A little bit of housekeeping. Please keep yourself on mute. If you are a new attendee, please introduce yourself in the chat. Please utilize the chat for questions. We do monitor the chat for questions. Please no marketing in the chat. And with that, I'd like to bring up John Gordon with the Department of Education for an update. Never mind, web shops. I forgot about a key slide. I should have looked at the slides ahead of time. Thursday, April 30th at 10 a.m. We have the last in a series about bonds. This is maintaining your local bond investment and maintenance hot topics. The link for the registration is below. Look forward to another good web shop on bonds, local bonds. And with that, I will then turn the time over to John. Oh, and the spring forum. Shoot, I really should have looked at these slides. This is fun. Spring Forum, May 19th, Tuesday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Long Beach Marriott. Save the date. Registration will obviously open in early April, and look forward to seeing everyone this spring. This has been a spring symposium in the past. We've kind of rebranded and is now a spring forum. No better place to hold a spring event than Long Beach. And I believe state agency updates. All right, I got it. John Gordon, it's your time, my friend.
Thank you. Just a quick question. I was just kind of looking at the Zoom and noticed that are all the attendees still in the waiting room, or are they live? I don't know if we should check that. We may have to do a do-over. Or maybe it's my screen showing.
It shows that they're in on my side, so they were in the meeting.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Well, good morning, everyone. John Gordon, Department of Education. Just a couple of updates. We've been working with OPSC and doing some joint meetings up and down the state, working together on our small school district outreach. So on the CDE side of it, we have the SASE program, Supporting America Schools Infrastructure Program, which was a federal grant that we've received a few years ago that we are moving forward with and implementing, and we're excited to have Nevada County Office of Education and also Fresno County Office of Education working as our contractors to implement the program and go get out and visit school districts. But we also have the State Priority Schools program that we are launching, and that's in conjunction with Proposition 2, which is in conjunction with the small school district program that OPSC is implementing themselves. So we've been going, throughout the state and done some different presentations. I know next Wednesday and Thursday, April 1st and 2nd, will be in Kern County and Fresno.
Hey, John,
and then yes.
Interrupt you really quick. You were right that I need to let those attendees in. I apologize about that.
Sure.
Okay, one moment. I apologize.
Mm-hmm. We'll start over.
Yes, please. Thank you.
We're working things out. That was just a practice run for Tom.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. We had a small technical difficulty. Apologize for starting a little late. By way of introduction, my name is Thomas Pace, the chair of CASH. Some housekeeping items. If you're a first-time attendee, please introduce yourself in the chat. Please don't use the chat for marketing and use the chat for questions. We do monitor the chat for questions. Today is National Manatee Day. If anyone was curious about what national day it is today, it is also Aretha Franklin's birthday. So happy birthday, Aretha Franklin. Next slide, upcoming, we have a web shop, the last in a series of 3 web shops about local bonds, titled Maintaining Your Local Bond Investment and Maintenance Hot Topics. That'll be Thursday, April 30th from 10 to noon. It's been a great series and I've learned a lot. The registration link is there. Also coming up in May, we have our spring forum. Next slide, if you would. There we go. May 19th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Long Beach Marriott. No better place to hold a spring forum than in Long Beach. This used to be a spring symposium. We've rebranded and is now a spring forum. So save the date and look forward to seeing our membership in Long Beach this May. Next up, we will have state agency updates. We're going to start off with John Gordon. I know prior to the start of this webcast, you and I were talking about your participation at our annual conference, and just wanted to thank the California Department of Education for their support of the annual conference. It was good seeing Tony Thurmond and others from CDE attend the conference. I have to say that Tony gave remarks at our School Facility Leadership Academy graduation, went to a couple of our sessions, and the passion for education in CDE is clear. The direction of the department I loved, and hearing from them. So John, the floor is yours, and look forward to hearing your update.
Well, good morning. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Yes, I know it's always a bit of a challenge for us to get all of our field reps and analysts out there. It's just somewhat of a challenge just in terms of just the sheer number. And so it was exciting to see so much participation and support. And I heard that we had a lot of folks that went to our resource table to get some information about what we do and how we support school districts with their construction projects. So it was great turnout this year. So hopefully there's still not an echo. I see that in the chat. Let us know if you're still hearing an echo. But I want to highlight some of my updates is that we've been working in concert with OPSC, with the Office of Public School Construction, and doing some small school district outreach. As you may know, the Department of Education received a federal grant a few years ago, the Supporting America School Infrastructure Grant, that we have been implementing with our friends and colleagues from Nevada County Office of Education, as well as Fresno. And they're, as contractors, are going out and visiting school sites and working with them, doing some site assessments, helping them with whatever they need to kind of get off the ground for our folks. But with Prop 2, we also have the State Priority Schools Program, which we're in the middle of kind of ramping up as OPSC is working on their small school district outreach program. So bringing those 3 together, we've been going out and visiting various areas of California. I know we'll be in Kern and Fresno here next week. And then I think we're doing Los Angeles, San Diego, Riverside, and hopefully Monterey. So if there's anyone out there that's from Monterey County that would be interested in hosting, I think we're still looking for a home there. So certainly reach out to me or reach out to Brian LePask, and hopefully we can get out there as well. Also, we shared this at CASH. I'll put it in the chat. Because there was a little bit of confusion about what's the difference between the SASE program, what's the difference between the State Priority School Program. So we've created a one-pager, kind of shares the difference. In essence, with the SASE program, we've identified who meets the criteria that we have that would fall under the SASE program, and we're reaching out to them individually over here in the next couple of years as we're implementing the program to see how we might be able to help with the State Priority School Program. And we're working on adopting the regulations, but that'll be for lack of better words, more of a competitive thing because it's based on criteria that receives points, and then once whatever districts apply, we figure out what points they have, and then we'll probably just go down the list in terms of um, who we could serve and when we can serve. And the a lot of the things do mirror each other or kind of overlap. Priority schools like SASE will be going out and doing some site assessments. However, the output will probably look a little bit different where we're doing with SASE a school report. One component of the facility master plan requirement would include the inventory. I think we have an opportunity with the priority school because we'll be going out for an RFQ for an outside contractor. We're hoping to have more elements of that Proposition 2, which will be a nice companion piece with OPSE and the small school district program so that we can get them a little more lined up with accessing state funding. So with that, that's kind of, I think, more or less what I have to share today. I don't know if there are any questions folks have, but I'm here for them.
Well, John, I think it's a sign of a good educator when there are no questions. So either the message was well received or, the group is just quiet today. So we will take the quietness as a sign that there are no questions. So it's always good seeing you, and appreciate the time you give us.
You got it. Take care. Have a good day, everyone.
Up next, we have the Division of State Architect, and with us, I believe today is Kurt Kooknick. Kurt, are you out there virtually?
He will actually not be joining, and he just let us know, but we can move right to Brian.
Perfect. All right, so we will move on to the Office of Public School Construction and Brian LePasque. And I know you're out there virtually, Brian. So how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you, Tom?
Not so well. USC basketball didn't make March Madness, and last night I stayed at the Hyatt, and Duke basketball is currently staying at the Hyatt here in Sacramento, and so got to be surrounded by Duke Blue Devils all night. So
that's been an exciting
tough for California basketball this year, unfortunately.
They had a tough time against Siena, if I remember correctly, in the first round, the 16 seed. So,
hey, Brian, you're making my day. Thank you for reminding me of that.
We'll see what happens. March Madness is always pretty fun. I'm in sixth place in the little league I'm in. There's 99 entries, and I'm in sixth place right now. So I'm doing pretty good in the bracket so far.
I was going to say, is it 6 out of 6? But you answered my question, so I'm glad it's 6 out of 99.
A little bit better than that, yeah. Okay, so good morning to everyone. Nice to be here today. I hope everybody's doing good. We have a brief update today. As you probably noticed, the SAB meeting is just consent calendar today. There's no appeals or action items. I can assure you it's just a coincidence. We have lots going on right now, but just not a very busy calendar this month. One of the things we have going on is our 7th Career Technical Education Facility Program funding cycle is underway. CDE finished their scoring, and we've started to see applications rolling into our office. The deadline to apply for funding for this current 7th cycle is June 30th of this year. So there's still some more time. And we anticipate to present those projects for approval to the State Allocation Board by December of 2026, so the end of this year. We're most likely, in fact, we know, we're pretty much 100% sure that we're going to have more applications than we do funding for this cycle. And so we do need to go through and put all those into the funding matrix. There's a variety of different ways we prioritize these projects so that the money is spread out the most efficiently per our regs. And so that takes some time. That's why it takes us a while to really process the applications thoroughly. So it's an exciting time for those of you that have career technical education projects. This has been a very popular program. This is just the first half of the career tech funding that's available through Prop 2. So we'll have another cycle with a similar timeline next year. So we'll be looking forward to that 8th cycle as well. We also have a new funding cycle for the preschool, transitional kindergarten, and full day kindergarten program. We'll be accepting applications from April 1st, so just in a couple days here, through April 30th. There's currently a little bit over $31 million in funding available. And you may remember this is kind of an unexpected bonus. We thought that we were done with the available funding we had for this program. But we did get some project like reductions. Most of them had to do with sprinkler system grants that were returned. And then there were a few projects that had to rescind. And so we did get some money back into the program, a little bit over 31 million currently. We're expecting a little bit more. We have some project deadlines that are coming up, and a lot of times we'll see a few rescissions or amendments here and there. So we do expect some more funding. I don't know exactly how much, but we'll have some more funding available in the near future, I think. And we're just going to be going back and returning it out to other program projects that can qualify. So we do have to parse through all the applications we receive to determine priority for funding. So it takes us some time. I don't think we currently have an ETA of when we expect to present those for SAB approval, but we're going to keep you posted on that. And we should know relatively soon. Pretty much as soon as the round closes, we'll be able to probably get a good idea of how long it's going to take us. We're definitely going to do it as quick as possible, and we have a whole team that is dedicated to that program. We still do. So they'll be working on those hard. They're working on them, prepping for them as we speak. So looking forward to that. A little bonus round there for FDK. And right now we're also in the midst of doing in-person outreach all over the state for this new small school district program that came about in Prop 2. We're working in coordination with CDE, as John mentioned. Their programs go hand in hand with the small school district program, speaking specifically about the Supporting Priority School Districts program and Supporting America's School Infrastructure Grant Program. So far, we've had 5 of them. We had one here at the building in West Sacramento, and then the team went up north to Eureka and Redding. Last week, I joined the team out in Oroville and Sonoma, and then let's see, next week we'll be down in Kern County and Fresno, and then following that, there's going to be workshops in Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Diego. And then finally one in Monterey. Excuse me. We're looking into potentially another 1 or 2 of them. Nothing to announce at this time, but there could be more. Also, if that's something you're interested in and you're not able to make it out to any of these in-person workshops, we're going to do like a permanent video resource that's the same material that we're presenting at these workshops in the pretty near future. And that's going to be posted somewhere to where it's like a permanent resource, and you can go back and look at it whenever you want. And by the time we do that, I mean, the presentations are already going really well. I think the information, there's enough of it without being too overwhelming. The program is pretty straightforward anyways. I mean, if you're familiar with new construction and modernization, it's just pretty much the same. There's just a little bit of different priority system to it. But we're going to have that resource as well for you. And then we have an entire team dedicated to these projects as well. So Casey Barr in our office is the supervisor for that program. A couple of you may have worked with Kelsey Muramoto or Sandeep Singh. They're both on that team now. And then we're going to have a couple of new faces on the team as well that we just got done hiring. They've been coming out to our workshops and learning the program, and they're coming along really well. So we're really excited for them and that whole team. It's a really great opportunity for us. If you've watched any of the stakeholder meetings, you can tell how excited I am about this program. I've always really enjoyed working with small school districts. They have, I think, unique needs, and we're really, really excited about this program and getting it rolled out, and we're just getting started now. So it's going to be a great year for that program.
Brian,
did
you mention a stakeholder meeting in the Inland Empire, Riverside, or San Bernardino County at all?
Yes.
Perfect.
Actually, I can get the date for you on that if you hold on just 1 second here.
Selfishly, I want to promote the Inland Empire and make sure that we give you good feedback.
Yeah, let me. That's a great question. While I'm at it, so our current county meeting is coming up April 1st, 2 to 4 p.m. It's in Bakersfield. Fresno will be the next morning at April 2nd from 9 to 11 in Fresno, and then we have one scheduled in Orange County, which is LA Orange County. That's at the Orange County COE on April 7th from 1 to 3 p.m. Riverside is at the Riverside COE in the Joshua Tree Room from 10 a.m. to noon on the 8th of April. And then we have San Diego on the 9th of April in a San Diego Unified Physical Plant Operations Center from 9 to 11 a.m. We're still working on a location for the Monterey workshop on April 15th, but that one will be 10 a.m. to noon on that day. We have a listing of these, and I'm glad that you asked because I meant to mention this. We have a listing of those dates and times. If you go to the OPSC website and click on meetings and just scroll down a little bit, you'll find all those there and all the information about those. And if for whatever reason you can't find it or anything like that, just send me an email and I'll hook you up. But like I said, those are going really great. The team is very excited and energized, and we're really looking forward to getting that program rolling. Speaking of new people and hiring, we're currently open for 3 PM positions right now. I think, and I know that they were posted, I think either earlier this week or late last week. Those are going to be for PM teams. And then we're in the midst of interviewing for a new PVT supervisor, a plan verification team supervisor, since we have a vacancy there. So there'll be a lot of new faces or maybe some familiar faces going into those roles. We don't have any future stakeholder meetings currently scheduled, but we do have some planned on the horizon. We're going to be finishing up we're going to continue the discussions on facility inspection tool. We also have a list of what we call global regulation changes. And what those are is mostly little adjustments here and there to make things more clear. Sometimes through the course of processing applications, we kind of look at our language and say, okay, there's an opportunity to make it a little bit better there. So it's really stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of there's going to be like lots of little things like that. We're not going to throw any major changes into an item like that. We would have a separate meeting or more dedicated time to something that is a big procedural change or something that's a departure from what we've been doing. Most of this stuff is just little helpful, useful things that we can do to improve the regulations. And so we're going to be bringing that forward. And then down the line a little bit, we're starting to work on the new lead and water program. And so I would expect an announcement on that relatively soon, but that's the last piece of Prop 2 that we need to dig into. And so we're working on all that stuff. We're also working on a series of OPSC online workshops because we're approaching the January 1 to 2027, which is crazy to say that, where OPSC online is going to be the required tool for doing submittals to our office. So be on the lookout for those. We're going to start next month. And the way that I explain this to our team is I'd like them to be informal, kind of have an informal feel, not real, because OPSC online, truthfully, I may be a little biased, but I think it's relatively easy to use, especially once you get used to it. And so these are just going to be kind of informal information exchange exercises to where we're just familiarizing people with OPSC online. And we're planning on doing 2 of those a month through the end of the year, leading up to that January 1st date. We're going to have topics that we're going to begin the meetings with. They'll be about an hour or 90 minutes. We'll take about 15, 20 minutes to show you a process, and then we're just going to open it up for questions. Also, if there's topics that you'd like us to cover, we're going to do the basics like, eligibility submittals, funding submittals, all the different program forms that are, the most commonly used forms and things like that, and process workflows. But if there's anything you're wondering specifically about, just let us know and we'll incorporate it. We've scheduled topics for, I think, about half of them. In that second half, we're open to anything. We'll be able to come up with stuff if we need to, but I wanted to leave it open for if there's suggestions from any of you or anyone who's out there who wants to know about something specifically. We're going to start with just the basics of it, the layout, what all the menus are, how to update district representatives, things like that, where to find information, how the dashboards work, that kind of stuff. But then we'll get into a little more technical, here's what you do to submit a 5004. Here's how you use the enrollment calculator, all those different things. So that's another thing we're working on. I'm really excited for that. A lot of education pieces this year, just with so many new programs and updated regulations. So we're fired up for all those too, and we're working on all those. I think with that, that's all I have today. I can answer any questions, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your week. It's been busy here at OPSC, so it's nice to be here, though.
And Brian, congratulations on your Member Service Award from Cash. Well deserved. And I would say that I'm very excited about the TK Early Education Grant Money, CTE grant money. Those are some of the most specialized spaces that we build in education. There's never enough funding for those items. So the fact that we have some concentrated supplemental monies dedicated to those two programs is a benefit to those that want to participate. So
I agree. Yeah, we know how important those classrooms are. And I mean, just to be very clear, the 31 million that we're apportioning for this upcoming round is for the FDK specific program where you can do preschool and full day kindergarten as well. But you're right. We also have that additional new supplemental grant that came out of Prop 2, which we anticipate to be very popular. So we're excited about that as well. And I will mention one other thing. Thank you for mentioning the Member Service Award. That really meant a lot to me personally. But I really need to give credit to our team. Our team is who really deserves that award. We're going to talk about that at our all staff this just tomorrow, I think. But it's really dedicated to them. I mean, I guess I was the face of those meetings, but all of the work, all the really hard work was our team, not just me. So it's an award for all of us. We appreciate it so much. And as I've said all along, it's been a very collaborative process. I really appreciate everybody who took the time to attend those meetings, to watch them, to send us input. It was tremendously helpful. So thank you all very much for your help with all that.
It takes a village in everything that we do in education, especially in building and modernizing schools. So thank you, Brian, and we'll see you next month. And good luck at the meeting tonight.
Good. Thanks, Tom.
All right. Up next, we have the Cash Advocates, Rebecca, Nancy, and Ian. It looks like I'm turning the time over to Nancy. So Nancy, welcome, and look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Good morning. Thank you, Tom. I have a couple of highlights for you. First, we always want to set the table and let you know what the legislature is up to. The policy committees are in their second week of hearing bills. They will break next week for their legislative spring break and then reconvene on April 6th. And that will be followed by 3 very intense weeks with very full agendas as they advance towards the deadline for policy committees to hear and report out fiscal bills. There is an extra week for bills that are considered non-fiscal, but most bills are deemed to have a fiscal impact. So it's a lighter period. The budget committees also continue to meet and dive into all aspects of the governor's proposed budget and to develop their own proposals. The budget process is on a parallel track, but a different timeline than that for consideration of bills. This phase of budget work will continue until the governor presents his May revision. If you recall, this year, the administration presented what they deemed a workload budget, largely delaying new proposals until the May revision, which would be informed with April revenue figures. So we are all, in anticipation of that new information. I will kick off with one bill highlight before I toss it to Ian to continue highlighting bills. I'll just talk about AB 2067 by Assemblymember Patel. This is our cash-sponsored lease-back sunset extension. We are sponsoring this jointly with the Associated General Contractors. It's actually on the agenda today for the Assembly Committee on Education. It would extend the authorization to use lease-back for another 5 years, so through July 1, 2032. The bill enjoys bipartisan support and no known opposition. It is on the consent calendar today in Education Committee, where we hope it will remain. Because it was deemed non-fiscal, it does not have to go through the Appropriations Committee. So hopefully it will be approved by the Assembly Education Committee today and then head straight to the Assembly floor for approval there. I won't highlight other individual bills except to mention a theme. There's a collection of bills on impact fees that, as written, do not currently affect schools, but they affect other types of public agencies. We monitor those bills closely because they could be amended at any point during the legislative process to affect us and potentially become a problem. So that, just to let you know, there's a lot of work being done in that area. Our colleagues that represent other types of public agencies are having a very busy session with those bills, and we are monitoring those closely. So with that, I will pass the baton to my colleague Ian.
Thank you, Nancy. Appreciate that. Yes, so I'm going to highlight a couple of pieces for you here. The first one, Nancy had mentioned the state budget, obviously involved in their deliberations, definitely a workload budget. But one thing Cash has done is submitted a letter to the budget committee and all the associated folks. Basically, it does two things. It asks that the existing Proposition 2 backlog be fully funded in the budget here. Or in this existing budget, it's specified that $1.5 billion is being dedicated, which is this historical average, though an artificial kind of metering, but they've dedicated that to Proposition 2 projects. But as we all know, there are more, and so we're asking for more funding to cover those. The other piece is asking for more money or for funding dedicated for school maintenance. As everyone knows, after the LCSFF was approved, the deferred maintenance program, and the dedicated funding for maintenance went away. And this is asking for more funding to be dedicated for that. We know there's a lot of discussion around the fit. There's a state auditor and so on. And so we're trying to basically let folks know, both decision makers as well as stakeholders, Cash's real true kind of funding priorities as we talk about individual bills and other policy pieces. We want to make sure that we kind of continue to chase our primary objectives, which are, and chief among them is adequate funding for everything we do. So there's that. We'll let you know about that, how we go forward. I will say it was nice to be able to make an ask for, particularly for school maintenance. It has been a while, and so we'll see how that goes. But representing that flag, highlighting that need, I think that's nothing but good. And there we go. And we'll let you know how those things go. The other one are some school safety bills. I wanted to write school safety continues, whatever angle it's from, right? There's different elements of school safety. It's a pretty broad theme, but the issue continues to be very important and a priority for decision makers, parents, the community, everyone. You don't really need to sell that, and we all know why. So we follow these bills very carefully, more so on bills that are directly impact or related to school facilities and maintenance, building systems, things like that. There's one bill, AB 1721, and that is a pretty simple bill, but it recommends that the superintendent of public instruction create a work group, a stakeholder work group, to see what ought to be in the school safety plan, right? We know everyone has one of those, is working with those, but what should be in there and why? Basically, a broad discussion. We think that's a good thing because that allows a lot of other voices, certainly schools, to be in there on a discussion when you talk about something like that. So we think that's kind of a positive approach to policy approach to how you might look at school safety plans, and so on. More work to be done right there. It's kind of a spot bill, but definitely watching that bill. There's another bill kind of on the other side of the spectrum, SB 1140. That one basically specifies that within the school safety plan as it is, It must include language to exclude unauthorized individuals from school property and limiting their access during construction, facilities maintenance, and repair. So we think that could possibly be more problematic. We're still getting more information on that. The larger point, as we're just starting to hear bills, is school safety continues to be a pretty important issue, and we're following all the different approaches, different concepts, policy proposals on school safety. So stay tuned for that as well. The last thing I'll say, and this is, I guess, kind of under the maintenance network update, is that we had a really good annual conference. It seems like months ago, but really it wasn't even that long ago. But it really was very successful. Our trade show, M&O trade show and reception was very well attended. There's a lot of excitement there with the vendors as well. The maintenance breakfast, as usual, was outstanding. And we had Michael Watanabe from OPSC talking to us about school M&O issues. And then I'm sure you all saw the very many workshops and offerings within the M&O strand, which I thought was excellent. And so we definitely see the energy from maintenance and operations at the annual conference, and we definitely are trying to, continually perfect our offerings. Folk from that community in particular are interested in it, and they receive very good information. So with that, I will turn it over to my colleague, Rebecca, and thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Ian. I also wanted to extend thanks to the Office of Public School Construction, to Brian and his team for all of the work that they've done to implement Proposition 2. As has been mentioned, it's been a very collaborative process, and we appreciate being able to participate in that to generate the best outcomes in the program. If you are curious about what those options and opportunities might be in the state program, we'll be talking in more detail about different funding options, different programs at the Spring Forum, which was mentioned. So that will be May 19th in Long Beach. Please come to that. We'll start to do a deep dive on some of those topics, and it should be a great source of information on the program. I also wanted to just raise a couple of changes that we're seeing at the State Allocation Board. So with all of the activity and the excitement with Proposition 2 and the funding flowing for that program, we also have had a lot of turnover at the State Allocation Board in 2026. So there are 3 members that this calendar year have moved off, and we want to thank them for their service. So Senator Laird, who is chairing the Senate Budget Committee now and has a lot on his plate, so he's transitioned off the State Allocation Board, as well as Senator Choi and Assembly Member Maritsuchi. New board members that we are welcoming in 2026 include Assembly Member Dr. Patel, who is the new chair of the Assembly Education Committee, Senator Nilo, and Senator Cabaldon. So we look forward to working with them on all of the issues and opportunities related to our school facility program. As far as bills go, I have one that I wanted to raise for you. It's AB 1809 FONG. This is related to job order contracting. So Nancy talked to you a little bit about lease-leaseback and a sunset on that best value competitive selection process within lease-leaseback. Job order contracting also has a sunset. Sunsets are very popular in the legislature. They really use the try it before you buy it permanently model to test things and see if they work or if they are the right public policy choices. So AB 1809 would actually make the authority for K-12 and community colleges to use job order contracting permanent. It is currently planned to sunset on January 1, 2027. And so what this bill would do is eliminate that sunset and make that authority permanent. What is job order contracting? I know it's not something that a lot of districts are using, but those that are using it are utilizing it to deliver smaller projects. So it allows for award of the contracts based on prices for specific construction tasks, rather than bids for specific projects, and you do use the lowest responsible bidder. Contractors are pre-qualified and they bid an adjustment factor to preset unit prices. Really, this is a master contract under the job order contract, and then there are individual contracts for each job or task that nest within that. In order to use this authority, a school district must have a project labor agreement that applies to all of the public works that are awarded through that job order contract. And then they also need to have the PLA apply to all other public works of the districts, regardless of delivery method. But that is specific to a dollar amount threshold that is set by the board. You also do have skilled and trained workforce requirements for any job order contracts in excess of 25,000. So we did want you to be aware of that option that's out there and the sunset elimination that's moving through the process in AB 1809. And with that, I will hand it back to Tom.
Perfect. Thank you, Rebecca. And now we're going to return back to Nancy to have an update about the School Energy Coalition. So Nancy, the floor is yours again.
Sure thing. I will kick it off, and then my colleague Ian has a little bit of an update as well. And mine is brief. The School Energy Coalition supported an audit request yesterday at a hearing of the Joint Legislative Audit Committee. It was titled Public Utilities Commission Utility Timeliness Oversight. The focus is on delays by investor-owned utilities when they receive interconnection applications. This is a long-running problem, particularly if you have a new solar project. You might have experienced this sort of unreasonable, in our estimation, delays in interconnection, which add to your project costs and complicate your project completion. So we supported this request by Senators Becker and Allen. It was approved yesterday by the Joint Legislative Audit Committee, which means the state auditor will be performing this audit in the coming year. They have on their schedule through fall of 2026, they have work scheduled that they were requested to do in 2025. So realistically, the work being requested yesterday will probably take place between late 2026 and late 2027. Other than letting us know that the work is in progress and providing an estimated completion date, they don't generally provide any information until the report itself is available. But that is welcome news to anyone who has experienced this issue. And with that, I will pass the baton again to my colleague Ian.
Thank you, Nancy. I will also be brief, but I wanted to give you an update on what's going on with CalShape, both as a program and as funding. You've probably seen some of the updates that Cash has done, but where we are now is there is an official request through trailer bill language to extend the statutory deadlines for CalShape, which right now will sunset in January 1st, 2027, and the funding, $194 million available, would at that point revert back to the utilities. So the statutory deadline is proposed to be extended, and of course, and it directs the California Energy Commission to start the program up again and to distribute the $194 million according to the existing requirements and rules. So continuing to do that, just quickly, we know that some folks got caught in between when the program was closed down. So folks in this coalition are definitely aware of that and doing everything they can to help those folks, as well as more broadly, I guess you could say, save the CalShape program. So some good work being done with that. Both the School Energy Coalition and Coalition for Adequate School Housing supported this approach, this proposal, and budget bill language in the first committee. I think it was the Senate budget subcommittee on education. So continuing to support this approach as we go forward. So thank you very much. Over to you, Tom.
Perfect. Thank you, Ian. So want to talk about the annual conference. Reminder, the annual planning conference committee meets this afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m. It was great seeing all of you at the annual conference this year. It was a success as always. The success, as Brian Lepasque mentioned earlier, is really about the team that works behind the scenes on the conference, from presenters to staff, to those who worked on the food, who worked on the operations of the annual conference. Just like to say thank you, as I learned a lot going to the different sessions. We got to celebrate our membership, and just a lovely conference. As a reminder, our next annual conference will be in Sacramento before moving to Southern California the year after that. So look forward to seeing everyone in 2027 in Sacramento. Job exchange and people's choice. We have a few school districts that are looking for help. So if you're in the Santa Ana, North Highlands, Sunnydale, Fresno, or McLean Park areas, there are jobs out there. All great school districts looking for help in the facility maintenance and operations area. And with that, our next statewide school facilities meeting will be held by Zoom April 29th from 9 to 10:15 a.m. This is a new time, and so we appreciate your cooperation and patience in finding a new time for us. So we look forward to seeing you then. I'd like to end by congratulating one of our own, Dave Sierra, who works for San Bernardino City Unified, who went through the Cash School Facility Leadership Academy a few years ago. I was named San Bernardino County Classified Employee of the Year. It's always good to see our own out doing good things, and it's just good to see and highlight our membership. And so to Dave, great work in representing your school district and Cash. And so with that, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.